Hey guys, welcome back to the Firebrand Show. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Billy.
And we're Next Gen pastors here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we are so excited to dive into today's conversation.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
We have a special guest with us today, so we're going to introduce him. It is Chris Avila. So welcome, Chris.
Thanks, man. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for letting me come and hang.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us a quick rundown, like 15 seconds, what you do, who you are, what you're about, everything like that. Make it short and sweet to the point.
Yeah, so I am a pro chaplain. So I work with pro athletes and help bring the gospel into the pro athlete community.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's awesome.
That was like the shortest introduction we've ever had a guest do. Well done.
That's great, though.
You have that down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you work with pro athletes. So
Yes.
before we get into today's topic,
Yep.
I want to bring up something that is like blowing up in the football space right now. And so at the time of this airing, or at the time of the recording, it's September 29th. I'm just putting that out there because this
Yep.
will be dated by the time it airs. Maybe not, I don't know.
We'll see.
But the Kansas City Chiefs have earned, yeah, you know where I'm going.
Oh, yeah,
The Kansas
Swiftie.
City Chiefs have earned a whole fandom.
Yeah.
Like, it's
like,
crazy.
yeah.
Like, I don't know the exact numbers, but like Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs, their social medias have gained like hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yep.
Just because of Taylor
And
Swift.
money. Like his jersey.
Oh, yeah,
like
he jumped to the
sales.
number one
400%.
jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
400%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Taylor, and then like there's the TikTok trend where it's like wives walking up to their husbands and going like, "Oh, I'm so thankful that Taylor Swift
Yeah.
put Travis Kelce on the map." Like, and like husbands getting like irate because they're
Right.
like, "No, Travis Kelce's like the number one NFL."
Right.
Anyway, anything to say to this as someone who works with pro athletes?
Yeah, it's hard because I'm sure it involves everybody, you know, like the team,
Yeah.
like it becomes this big thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard for those guys to balance their personal lives
Yeah.
and again, they're celebrities and they get looked up to. So it's going to be interesting to watch how they navigate this and how they kind of. I know the Cowboys a couple years ago, Tony Romo was dating like Jessica Simpson,
Yep.
and she was a pop star and when they started losing, then they were like
That's a
It's all
distraction.
bad. It's a
right. Then
distraction.
everything was it's her fault.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting how they navigate that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure the Kansas City Chiefs are, all pub is great pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you think it's an authentic relationship, or if it's like
That's what I was gonna
a
ask.
publicity stunt where they're just
She's gonna write another album.
Yeah, exactly.
What are
Yeah.
they trying to do here?
Yeah, I have no idea. That's just above my pay grade.
You don't want to go on the record? giving it-
Yeah. I mean, I hear he's a great guy, a great
Yeah.
teammate,
Yeah.
hard worker, obviously
Yeah.
one of the best. So, I wish him the best. And,
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
I saw people. There's clips of Travis when he supposedly sees her up in the box next to his mom, and people are trying to lip read what he's saying
Oh
Right.
my
when
gosh,
he sees
yes.
her. And I've seen,
And there she is, like,
or like
yeah.
she's here, or
Yeah.
someone's like a professional lip reader says green light, like, and so people are trying to understand like
What are they doing?
what is he thinking when
Yeah.
he's looking up at her and all those things, but we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So.
My dad is a diehard Chiefs fan, and when I asked him about this, he just rolls his eyes. Like he just rolls his eyes,
Right.
like, ugh, okay. But at the same time, like now everybody wants to go to their games. Everybody wants to go to
Absolutely.
Chiefs games.
Absolutely.
So the unfortunate part for diehard, authentic Chiefs fans is those tickets are now astronomical. Probably
Right.
they cost about as much, if not more, as a Taylor Swift concert ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to try and see Taylor there.
Yeah.
Right. I was at a boxing match in Minnesota, same weekend. A Taylor Swift concert was there, and I was just meeting people in the lobby, and
Yeah.
I just love talking to people, and so I was like talking to this family. They flew from North Carolina to Minnesota because they couldn't. That was the closest where they could get tickets.
Wow.
Wow.
And I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah.
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 Where she's at, and
she's at a whole
know.
other caliber.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
I saw a stat where she has spent more time in an NFL stadium than most NFL players, and it's
Wow.
because her concerts are all
Right.
sold out, packed arenas, multi-day shows.
Right.
And how long it takes for rehearsal, setup, tear down,
Right.
all that stuff. She's spending more time in a stadium than an NFL player, which I'm like, well, now she's dating one, so
Yeah.
she's
Even
going to
more.
add in more time.
and Russell Wilson's married to
Sierra.
Sierra,
Yeah.
and so I know they went through
Yeah.
all the fans and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're married, so this is
Right.
possible then for Taylor and Travis. Okay.
Very true.
I do
yeah.
like the TNT. Like, I do like it. It's cute. Like, I'm a Taylor fan.
What's their
so.
celebrity name?
I don't think they have one yet.
No,
Oh,
what would
yeah.
you
Like a
name
combined-
them? Yeah.
Trailer.
I don't know about that one.
No, not trailer.
No.
I don't even know. We'll let the Swifties, we'll let them
Yeah.
figure that one out.
Decide that out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're excited to get into our topic. So before we do that, we're going to get situated and then we'll jump right in. All right. So for today's topic, we're going to dive into the conversation, who is in your corner? And, what better person to talk about that with than Chris, who is always in the corners of boxers and other athletes in different ways. And so give us a snapshot of what it looks like for you when you're doing your job as, the pro chaplain of boxers. What do you do for them?
Yeah, I think, my heart, the assignment I feel the Lord has put in my life is to, it's the famous Great Commission, where we're called to go into all the world and preach the gospel and make disciples and baptize them. So sometimes we think about going into all the world and we think about third world countries, we think about missions, but really God's calling us into every aspect of the world. Some people are called into the medical field world, the education world, whatever that is. For me, it's the pro athlete world. So my heart is to come in and bring the gospel. And so there's guys that I work with that are, along the spectrum of, one, they don't want anything to do with God, they don't care about God, all the way to they love God already, they've grown up in church, or they've, they're just strong Christians. So so with every guy it's different, and my job is to be an extension of the church and of God in their lives. So I love, like, right when I walk in a room, guys immediately when they see me, they think about God.
Yeah.
And it's that little, helping them point them to God. And so I'm just a tool in their tool belt.
Yeah.
That if they want to grow in God, I'm there. And so if they don't know God, then I'm building trust and I'm building relationship with them and slowly introducing them what the gospel is. Okay. Because most guys, they know religion.
Yeah.
They know, like, okay, I think God's trying to make me a good person, and I don't know if I'm ready for that, or I'm going to be soft if I become a Christian, or so that's my role, and I just really come and I serve, and I'm willing to do whatever. So, like, fight week, right? I'm here in Vegas for a fight, and sometimes I'm running and grabbing waters for the guys, and sometimes I'm running with them, and sometimes they just need to get outside and get fresh air, so I go with a walk, and we're just talking about life, and so that's what I get to do. I just get to come in this world and just be a light.
That's great.
Yeah. Man, I love that. And it speaks so much to, like, who is in your corner. Like, you get to be in these people, these men, like these guys' corners, in high stress situations too for them. Like,
Absolutely.
This week is so high stress. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of voices that might be speaking into who they are or their identity, and you get to be just such a light to that. And it kind of goes into why we wanted to have this conversation with you of who is in your corner. Just the importance of knowing who's in your corner and putting the right people in your corner.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago at youth, we did a message about this, and we talked about the paralytic man in Mark, where his friends, powerful story, one of my favorite stories in the Bible. But they heard that Jesus was at a house, and he was there, and their friend was paralytic, so there was no more room in the house. There was no more room in the actual room that Jesus was in. So they took their friend and they carried him up onto a roof, broke a hole in the roof, lowered him down. Like, that's friends. Yeah. Like, those are good people. Those are the people you want in your corner, and you get to be that. And for this guy, we don't know necessarily, this paralytic man, we don't know his journey prior to his friends lowering him down. Yeah. We don't know if he knew Jesus, if he knew of Jesus. We don't know, but we know when he got into that room, he encountered Jesus.
That's it.
He accepted Jesus. He received healing. He got up, he walked out, and he went and proclaimed the name of Jesus everywhere. And it took the friends being in his corner to lower him down, to have an encounter with Jesus, and then go. Yeah. Which is crazy. And so you get to be that. And so speak a little bit to that with the next generation. We all know the phrase, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Yep. But speak a little bit to that when it comes to just navigating who's in your corner.
Yeah, in the sports world, it's like these guys are playing sports from 5, 6 years old. Then they get into the pro level, 18, sometimes 24, right? And so they've had years of striving of this is the goal, So what happens is a lot of guys, they don't get to be a Tom Brady where they say, hey, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna go do something else. Yeah. It gets ripped from them. Whether it's an injury, a bad loss, they're just not good enough anymore. There's younger talent coming up, and so their identity gets wrapped into this thing. And so when it gets yanked, their world just crashes. I mean, Ronda Rousey was at the top of the pro athlete world. She was doing movies and films. She was a champion. She's WWE. Yeah. And she loses, and she was suicidal. Wow. Literally suicidal because of this was her world, And so I get to come in there and I talk about everything other than sports. So when people are around a lot of these pro athletes, it's like, hey, man, that was a great game. That was an amazing fight. Bro, I can't wait. Dude, you need to fight this person. And so I get to come in and I talk about just life, go, hey, man, bro, I just saw your mom, man. How are your parents doing? And it's like, wow, okay. Or, just different things like, hey, man, like, did you buy your house yet? Did you do, just start talking about just life, hey, how's your faith? How, just different things like that. And so it just, guys love that. And it just builds trust and it builds that relationship. And so I just go in there and I've got to have a heart bigger for God than any of those guys. I get around chaplains in other sports and sometimes you can tell like they love these guys, and sometimes you're not going to be effective or have impact if you want to be their friends. If you're just trying to, you know what I mean? So like I heard Kanye West, he spoke at Joel Osteen's church, and it ripped my heart because they were asking like, who's in your corner? And he was sharing this no-name pastor that was in the Valley in LA. Wow. And he goes, he was the first guy that ever shared the gospel with me. Wow. And I know tons of other celebrity pastors that have been around him, that hung around him. Yeah. And he said, this was the first guy that shared the gospel with them. And it ripped my heart. And there's a lot of guys like that, they just want to be there. Let me throw this on the gram. Let me just, man, if I can get them to my church and tithe. And so there's all these other things. So you got to go in there with an assignment going, I don't got time to waste. Like I just left my kids, my 3 beautiful children, my beautiful wife. Like time is the most valuable thing we have. So I know I'm on assignment. So I'm there and to pray, like, man, I'm prayed up. I've been praying for these guys. I'm asking for specific scriptures. I'm texting them. Just little things like that, I had a guy, I'll share a story. He's Cuban. And so he understands Catholicism and kind of like, hey, I just show up to church and say, check the boxes. Check the box. Let me just say my Our Father prayer, a few Hail Marys, and I'm good. And then I go live my life. And so I felt the Lord, share with me just a little, just kind of picture to him. And I said, hey, man, how's your marriage? Oh, man, it's good. And we're just talking. I said, hey, what if you never talked to your wife? How would your marriage be? Oh, no good. He didn't speak very good English. And so, and I go, what if we never talk to God? Like, how's your relationship with God? Like, what if you never talk to him? And he goes, man, I never thought about that. I said, hey, that's what prayer is. Yeah. I go, do you like my prayers? He goes, oh man, your prayers are, man, fire, blah, blah. I said, how are your prayers? And he's like, what do you mean? I go, well, God wants to hear from you. Yeah. What if your wife never heard you say, I love you? Yeah. And be, man, it's in my heart. Yeah. Well, man, no. We got to express it. And then I'll share a few scriptures. Oh, no, I didn't see that, And so just little things like that is trying to make something that could be very like old, like the Bible is written 2,000 years ago. Right. God help me to show them that it's still relevant. Yeah. I don't need to change it, but God help me, show me that, like, help me to reveal that to them, that, man, this is powerful. Yeah. This is relevant. This is the answer to every question you have. This is the foundation you got to build your life on, because this will never change. It'll never get ripped from you. So
that's good.
Yeah. And what you said, like, speaks to that. Like, whenever you walk into a room, people know, like, you represent Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's the type of person that you want in your corner, you want around you.
Yep.
Someone who's going to point you back to Jesus.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't have that in your life, then you're just going to keep, you know, trying to find things to fill that void.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead you down a path maybe that you thought was good for you, but it ends up not, and it doesn't do anything good in your life. And so, you know,
it's fun when I'm around these guys and they win.
Yeah.
But it's crazy the times where they lose, where God really, you know, uses me, or, you know, just being there and helping them to realize, like, hey, this is just a moment. Doesn't define your life.
Yep.
And God gives you strength and power to move forward and learn from it and grow from it. And it's okay to be mad.
Yeah.
It's okay to be upset.
Yeah.
You know, losing stinks, right? But the reality is sometimes losing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more people that are going to be able to connect with you because you've lost. You know, like Mayweather's undefeated, right? Like, it's hard for people to really connect with him because he's just the best at top.
Yeah.
But I can connect with somebody that's like, man, he keeps losing, or he keeps, you know, man, finally gets a breakthrough.
Yep.
So,
That's so good.
So it's just being in those corners with them and knowing that they know I'm going to shoot straight with them. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not just going to be a yes man. Because he's who I got to answer to.
Yeah.
You know, if they fire me, let me go, okay, cool. Like,
I still obey
it doesn't
God.
hurt me. I'm being obedient to God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so good.
And
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it reminds me of a story in the Old Testament with Moses. You know, when he's on the mountain, the battle's happening below him, and he has Aaron and Hur next to him. And a lot of times, like, we try to do things on our own. Yeah. We think we don't need people to help us in life or be around us, and we isolate. And especially since COVID, we see, like, I can be fine by myself at home. Like, I don't need people around me. And we see this story of, you know, Moses, once his hands are up, they're winning the battle.
Yep.
Once he lowers them, the battle starts losing. So he gets tired. You know, he's human.
Yeah.
Yep.
He can't hold his arms up all day. And so he has people around him, Aaron and Hur, who can hold his hands up for him.
That's right.
So we need people in our lives that are going to stand in that gap, that can do the heavy lifting when we can't. Yeah. And so, you know, whenever you have, you know, fighters, people that you're around, they have those down moments, you're there to help lift them back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the people we need in our corners.
Yeah.
People that are going to be there to help encourage us, speak truth to us, and continue to point us back to God.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell young people, it's like they're so caught up in this culture, trying to be popular, you know, trying to get followers and this and that. It's like, be friendly to everybody, but be friends to few. Yeah. You know, you need that corner to be solid, that are going to challenge you, that are going to love you, going to be there for you. Yep. You know, and unfortunately, it's in those times where you struggle and you go through tough times where you find out who those people are and who's going to be there and be a part of that. But it's so important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. On the flip side of that too, like, who's in your corner? Whose corner are you in, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you get to be in, like, I think of you're in other people's corner all the time. And I know we're talking about, like, well, who's in your corner? And we're encouraging students, but also, whose corner are you in? Yeah. And what you just said of, like, being friendly to many, but friends to few. That is a bar. That is so good, you know? Like, that's so true. Yeah. We are called to love everybody. Yep. That is what we're called to do. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we're in everybody's corners. Right. Playing, like, oh, they gotta like me. I gotta be liked by them. Like, no, you can be in someone's corner. Yep. I mean, and you be friendly with them and still reach them.
You look at Jesus. You know? He was loved everyone, but he had his 12 that were in his corner that he taught, lived life with. And so, you know, find those people that you can do day in, day out life with that are, you know, there for the long haul.
Mm-hmm. Big time. Yeah, because it's hard. Like, it's easy to portray something, but when you have people in your corner who know who you really are, your insecurities, your weaknesses, those things that, man, you're able to. I've been married, you know, with my wife for going to celebrate 15 years, and it's like we have our core friends that, like, I tell her all the time, like, these are friends you can share everything with. Yeah. all these other people, you can't share everything with, but these 2 or 3 families that we do life with, you're allowed to share everything, you know, of our marriage, of everything. And so that gives her, you know, peace and freedom, you know, to be able to share those things and get feedback.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, people can be a mirror to you, you know, and you could be a mirror to people.
Right.
And that's our call. Like, we're supposed to reflect who Jesus is.
Yeah.
And we want people around us that reflect who he is as well.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for this conversation. It was so good. I hope you guys got something out of it. And if anybody wants to connect with you, just find out what you're doing, follow your journey, encourage you, and be in your corner, where can they find you? Yeah.
Instagram, Mr. Chris Avila. I also have our nonprofit, which is the G3 Experience. Man, would love for people to be praying for us. Most people don't know, but we're missionaries. So we are fully funded by average people that love God, that have generous hearts, that send us into the mission field.
That's awesome.
And so that's kind of how I'm in people's corners is I sit down with them and I go, look, I don't want anything from you. I don't need anything from you.
Yeah.
I'm an extension of the church and Jesus Christ into
good.
your life.
Yeah.
So it drops the walls, you know, because I've got friends that are being paid by an NFL team, and players are like, man, I don't know if I could share that I'm hooked on pornography or I'm cheating on my wife with him, because is he going to go tell coach? Is he going to go tell the owner because he's on their payroll?
Yeah.
So I've got huge need of people supporting us and sending us out. We've got some cool merch and different things like that. Follow us, man. We'd love to, if I'm ever in your city or our team is, man, love to catch up, speak in your youth group, whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you. We're going to have a little bit of fun before we send Chris off, but we're going to take a second. We're going to set the stage, and then we'll be back for a little bit of fun. All right, we are back, and we have reset the room just a little bit, and Chris and Billy don't know what we're doing right now.
No idea.
No idea. It's okay. Sometimes surprises are the best. All right, so Chris, I'm going to give you a little bit of a fact about Billy. Billy does not go to the gym. He does not work out, but he has this strength that is like ungodly, honestly. I don't know where he's gotten it. Maybe it's a dad's strength. I don't know. But he has arm wrestled multiple people and has never lost.
Wow.
And since you are in the pro athlete world, you work with wrestlers, I don't want to put the pressure on you. But I really, really need my husband to lose just one time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, this used to be a joke when we lived in Phoenix, and it's still even like coming into our youth ministry here in Vegas. But like our youth leader's initiation was like arm wrestle Billy and you're in. Yeah.
Wow. And then we told him, if you beat me, you can have my job.
And no one beat him. So anyway, we're going to do an arm wrestling challenge between you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Are you up for this?
Let's do it.
You don't work out, so you don't need any prep work. I think you're fine.
I stay ready in and out of season.
In and out of season. All right, you guys want to swing your mics forward just a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
So that you can bring your arms through. But I'll sit here.
We might have to get down.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to. And I'm going to have you guys actually, like Billy on that side of the table, and Chris, you're kind of over this way, just a little bit.
I'd probably have more chance like doing push-ups than arm wrestling, but
more of a chance.
More of a chance.
I still believe in you. All right. You guys can get into position. Are you nervous at all?
I am. He's gonna embarrass me in front of everybody.
You'll still have your job. Don't worry. All right. You guys ready?
Ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want another try?
No. I'm good.
Oh, man.
I'm man enough to say I lost. I'm the lesser guy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right
I'm by no means am I like a professional arm wrestler, but I like a good challenge. So
I just think I just want him to lose one time.
I know.
I really did have hope in you. You didn't let me down. I'll say that because it's Billy, and I've watched this now for 10-ish years, 12 years of my life. So
yeah, and I'm like getting older now, and it's like I'm just like trying. I can't get hurt. Like if I come home, my wife's like, she's gonna kill me if I get hurt doing something crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the arenas you're in, you got to watch out a little bit. But that's just really funny. Well, you still reign. Well done.
Still continue.
I just needed to see if he could do it.
Yeah.
I really did have faith in you, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Dang
I
it.
hopefully didn't embarrass you too bad.
No. I don't want my kids watching this. Dad is still the strongest. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That dad strength always wins, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for being a guest on our show.
Absolutely.
It's been a blast. And I know we have another episode coming out with you in a few weeks, and we're excited for that one to air as well. So make sure you guys are tuning in every single week on the Firebrand Show, where you can hang out with us and a different guest, and we'll just chat about life and faith. We'll see you guys next time.